In today's Elden Ring guide, I'll be showing you how to get 2 of the unique Reduvia Bleed Daggers, so you can dual wield them right at the start of the game. In fact, they're very easy to get, and technically you don't need to kill anyone to get them. The timestamps are below if you want to skip ahead to the location, but some of you may be wondering why these daggers are so good. Well, they have an insanely high stacking bleed effect, making it very effective at assassinating enemies rapidly, no matter how big or small they are. When dual wielded, they will hit 3 times in rapid succession, immediately stacking the weapon's bleed effect. But they also, interestingly, have a unique ability skill that fires out an arc of blood. This is basically a ranged attack that can be cast rapidly in order to stack bleed on enemies from a distance. Also incredibly good for PvP if an enemy is trying to run away. Crazily though, it only costs 4 focus points to use each time, so you can literally spam this all day for tons of damage. Now, if you don't know the way bleed works in Elden Ring, basically as you can see, when I am hit by the dagger's attack or special ranged attack, it immediately filled my bleed meter by 50%. Now, if my bleed meter gets to 100%, then I would take a massive chunk of damage. Now, the great thing about bleed is a lot of enemies don't have a high resistance to it. So as you can see in this example, even shield users can't block the bleed damage that this weapon does. It can even be cast into groups of enemies, applying bleed to all of them. The Reduvia Dagger alone is fantastic, and it can easily carry you to the mid game of Elden Ring, but when you dual wield it, it is simply unstoppable. You can obviously also upgrade both of these daggers as well. So now let me show you where to get the Reduvia Dagger right at the start of the game. I'll be using the prisoner class for this example, since he starts with the required 13 arcane, which is required to wield the Reduvia Dagger without leveling up. After you've done the tutorial at the start of the game, you're going to be here on the map. So if you haven't unlocked the map yet, you can find a guide on how to unlock it linked down below in the description, but you start the game just over here at the first step resting spot. From there, you're going to want to go north over here on the map to the church, and then all the way north up this path to the Gatefront ruins. From there, just to the east, you'll find the Akehill Lake North resting spot. You can see the fort over there, and just to the right here, this is the resting spot you're going to want to unlock for this fight. From here, to actually find the location of this enemy, it's basically directly east in this river just over here. So we're going to put a waypoint just over there. And then where we want to go though is down this pathway where this bridge is, just over here. We're going to want to enter from the bottom, because otherwise you take full damage if you jump into this canyon where the river is. So let's go ahead and mount up. And if you guys don't have a horse and you're watching this video, there's a guide on how to get one below in the description. We're going to head to the second marker that we placed on the map first. We're going to come off to the right here towards the lake. Then we're going to head downwards towards the valley. So here we are at the first marker, and as you guys can see, the bridge is just above us, and now we want to head north, the first marker that we placed in the valley. And we're just going to ignore these enemies just here. Some of them are going to try and drop down on top of you, but just completely ignore them and carry on running past them all. At some point, we're going to have to jump off our horse and dismount, because the game doesn't let you carry on. And we're just going to carry on running down this way. And now we'll be invaded by Bloody Finger Neregus, a red phantom. This happens even if you are offline, by the way. The enemy is controlled by the AI. I'm going to go ahead and parry him here, but since he dual wields 2 daggers, he is able to output a ton of damage extremely quickly and also apply the bleed effect on you. So I suggest that you simply avoid him completely for the start of the battle, because he can easily stagger you to death. After about 30 seconds of avoiding him, the Bloodfinger Hunter, Yura, will be summoned automatically to aid against the invader. And this is what I meant earlier when I said this guy is really easy to kill, because the Golden Yura is an absolute beast of a unit. He'll pretty much always kill Neregus even without any help from you. So the best thing to do if you're new to the game is just to simply avoid Neregus until he spawns, and then let the summon take aggro, and simply come in for a few cheeky backstabs when you can. Just watch out for the Blood Dagger's special attack, which flings blood at you since it will quickly stack that bleed damage each time, so make sure you try and avoid it. The Red Phantom will also try and heal himself once he gets low, so stand by for a few sneaky hits to interrupt him. But this is really one of the easiest fights in the game since you can literally do almost nothing and then collect the dagger as a reward afterwards. And also, if you do die during this encounter, don't worry, you can just go back to any resting spot of grace and then you can respawn. And then it will reset this area and you can just come back and the Red Phantom will still spawn again and you can have another go. After the Red Spirit is vanquished, he will drop a copy of the Reduvia Dagger. However, it's only one, so if you want to obtain a second copy of the dagger, you must get a friend to help you. So to get the 2 Reduvia Daggers, you need to use the multiplayer feature and have one friend. The best way to do this is for your friend to make a new character and then follow my video guide to get this dagger for themselves. It requires no real skill to get, as I already showed you. The reason they should make a new character though is so that you can get multiple copies of the dagger, since without exploits, only one dagger exists per game world. So after your friend has obtained the dagger, they will then need to summon you to their world in order to get it. Since this isn't very straightforward, let me show you how to do it. Press start, go to settings, and then make sure that you have perform matchmaking on, send summon sign enable, and playing online, and also accept user agreement. And then go to multiplayer, just here, and then you have to press Y to go to settings. Now you can put a multiplayer password and also a group password. This is basically a password that your friend can also input in order so that they can find your summon sign reliably. Then you can exit out and you can either find yourself one of these statues to examine, or you can just go ahead and agree a location with your friend that you're going to place your summon sign on the map so they know where to look for it. And then to create a summon sign, just open your inventory and click on the tarnished furled finger, which is this golden item that creates a summon sign for co-op multiplayer. Go ahead and use that item and you'll basically just mark it on the ground in front of you and it will look like some golden pebbles. Your friend will then need to find your summon sign in their world and activate it. Then you'll get a message saying you're being summoned and you'll load into their world. And a big shout out to my friend Seven Fangs, who has his own YouTube channel, for helping me with this. He also got me to help with killing the Red Phantom with him, but he could have done it without me if he wanted to. Once we defeat the Phantom, it will then drop the unique dagger, Reduvia, to the host. The host, being Seven Fangs, must then go into his inventory and leave the weapon on the ground for you to pick up. When he leaves it on the ground, it will be a golden item that looks like this, and then you can just go and pick it up. Just make sure that when your friend leaves it on the ground, that they don't discard it by accident. But just so you know, only the host will get the drop of the weapon, so they'll need to invite you to their world in order to give it to you. Also, just in general, be careful of picking up random items that people you don't know drop, because it can result in you getting banned if they're hacking. Once you picked it up, double check that you have it in your inventory, and now you're free to leave their world, and you have 2 duplicate Reduvia Daggers that you can dual wield and destroy anybody with. But this was only the first part of our assassination build guide, so for more weapons and armor sets, check out the playlist linked down below in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.